Intelligence is a hot topic. It is paradoxical that the interest in intelligence has seen a resurgence with the evolution of artificial intelligence when we are trying to create intelligence. We never probably appreciated the gifts that we have till we try to replicate it in machines. What is intelligence? Intelligence is the ability to respond meaningfully to data. There are three phases of intelligence. One is data acquisition and archive. The second is data processing. And the third is action execution. Data in our brains is of three types. One is the pre-recorded data we are born with. Each species has got a particular sequence of data already embedded at the time of birth. There is variation between tribes, between families, and even between individuals. This data, which is embedded in the brain, is not as important as the data streams which our brain systems facilitate. We are born with an ability to acquire data along certain streams. We can call it an aptitude. The second kind of data is acquired data. Acquired data can be passively acquired. Right from birth, we see what is around us. This is multimodality data, but it gives us an awareness of the environment. Second is active acquisition of data. We try to learn. Language is a major facilitator of active acquisition of data. When data is acquired, we apply it and we get feedback from our applications. So this converts data into knowledge. Acquisition streams of data are along our interests, along our aptitudes, along the channel on which data has already been acquired. The eyes do not see what the mind doesn't know. We see what we know. Data acquisition is through our sensory portals and starts immediately after birth. Data acquisition and data archival will be discussed here. Let us see one of the pathways of data acquisition, that is vision. Humans are considered to be visual dominant. However, that is not strictly true. We are language dominant. We see things in language. Occipital lobe and prefrontal lobe in humans are disproportionately large. So let us have a look at the visual acquisition pathway. It is again an active acquisition, and also there is a passive acquisition. We look at things, and meanwhile our peripheral vision tells us as to where the thing is and what is the context. The eyes have got retinae which are photosensitive. Eyes move to seek out images of interest. Optic nerves convey information back from the retina. At the optic chiasm, there is a decussation of fibers from the nasal aspects of the retina. This results in congruent images forming in both optic tracts which are behind the chiasm. This also, the two eyes seeing the same image, also gives us a binocular concept. It allows us to perceive depth. When we see an object coming towards us, split-second multiple images tell us as to what is the speed at which the object is approaching us. Optic tracts lead on to the thalamus, the lateral geniculate nucleus of the thalamus. And at the level of the thalamus, there is no visual perception, but there are some vision-triggered thalamic reflexes. The peripheral motion sensors in our retina can sense an image even without our comprehending it cognitively and then create a protective reflex. Sportsmen use these thalamic reflexes for rapid responses. A cricketer might flick a ball towards the boundary even without fully perceiving as to where the ball was. Optic radiations start from the lateral geniculate nucleus and head through the temporal and parietal lobes through what seem to be unnecessarily long routes to reach the occipital cortex. The occipital cortex area 17 is involved with visual registration. It registers the outline of images. And from here, images are sent to the association cortices, which are area 18 and area 19, which tells us as to what the image is and where the image is located. Now that we're acquiring images of interest from the flood of images going through our visual system, we have to archive them or save them. Selected images are chosen for archival. Images chosen for archival are sent from the occipital cortex to the hippocampus. In the hippocampus, we have multimodality integration. The visual image is coupled with the temporal image, is also coupled with the hearing, with the auditory aspect. It is also coupled with emotional correlates, something which gives us happiness or sorrow. An order might be registered along with this. So a multimodality integration of the data occurs at the hippocampus. At the hippocampus, there is also a creation of a gist abstract to the image. We convert the image into language. Today, artificial intelligence, the evolving models are doing that. When they want to recognize individuals, they use face, they use gait, and they use body outlines. And these things are actually being converted to language form and then used for recognition. So we have been doing it all along. So a multimodality integrated data box is called a memory sachet. This data is also associated with a gist abstract, which is in language. The hippocampus has got a limited storage capacity, and data stored in the hippocampus is shifted to the vast vestiges of the neocortex for archival. This transfer of information does not occur continuously, but occurs when we rest. During the first phase of sleep, that is also called NREM or slow wave sleep, there are waves of information transferred to the neocortex. These waves, which can be detected, are called thalamocortical spindles. Information transfer to the neocortex for archival occurs to two destinations. The prefrontal lobe stores gist information, that is an abstract of the information in language form. Then we have our sensory association cortices, which store multimodality information. Let's have a quick look as to where data is stored and to how it is stored. How is data transferred within the brain? It is transferred through electrical synapses. Something like what happens in a computer, a 0 and 1. Here we have more detailed variations in the transfer, which can result in information transfer along the shades of gray. It's more complex. We will do with synapses. We'll deal with synapses later. Data transfer from the hippocampus to the neocortex occurs through thalamocortical spindles. It occurs in the first phase of sleep, that is the NREM or non-rapid eye movement sleep, also known as slow wave sleep. There are two destinations. Prefrontal cortex stores abstracts in language. This is very important, and this is the secret of human cognitive superiority over animals. We can store data in language and manipulate data in language so that we can make decisions fast. Sensory association cortices receive multimodality data. We have a caudate nucleus through which information abstracts in the prefrontal cortex are tethered to the multimodality data repositories. So we can look back or draw back from our vestiges, from our archives to reinforce and support a decision. There are two modes of information storage. One is synaptic storage. A circuit is formed which encrypts for information. The second, not so easily widely accepted modality is intraneuronal. There is information transfers or moves from the synaptic maze inside neurons. There is evidence for this. Single neurons have been shown to store complexes. There is a Halle-Berry neuron which has been seen, or a grandma neuron, because these neurons, single neurons, post-synaptically are storing information. So this information is beyond the synapse, and it is occurring probably in chemical storage, chemical bonds, maybe DNA, maybe the junk DNA which we said has got no use. Intraneuronal storage occurs during the phase of sleep which we call REM sleep, that is rapid eye movement sleep. When information from the synaptic maze goes into a neuron, there is a churn of information already present in the neuron, which may be the substrate of our dreams. So dreams occur because of the neuronal churn, neuronal information churn, which occurs when information from the synaptic maze is moving intraneuronally.